This episode of the Zulu Podcast is sponsored by Zulu Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at zulu.com.
So this is how we need to understand that men and boys need to be educated about it also.
And there's a lot of men who aren't comfortable with purchasing it for their wife or their daughter. They feel uncomfortable and they won't purchase the napkins or the tampons.
A very common practice in India is when you go to a medical shop to buy a sanitary napkin, they will wrap it in a newspaper, then give it to you in a black plastic. You can't imagine. Wow. So this is one thing, something that's being practiced.
Welcome to the Zulu Podcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories and quirky humour, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what Zulu is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey Zulu friends, here we are at Sulabh again, and we are going to be speaking about their Menstrual Hygiene Management Knowledge Hub. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to this lovely lady, have her introduce herself and give us a bit of history about herself and the museum.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Arunima Chauhan, Menstrual Hygiene Management Expert at Sulabh. This room which you are seeing, we have inaugurated on 28 May 2024. The whole idea of this room came as when we conducted a study on menstrual hygiene management and practices in 7 states of India. Based on the findings of study, we found that the awareness about menstruation is quite low, even in we are talking about 21st century. Mm-hmm. So we created this room just to initiate the conversation around menstruation. Let's break the silence. So this was the whole idea behind, and we are very thankful to our president, Mr. Kumar Dilip, who supported us wholeheartedly to create this room. So I would request you to come inside and have a look of this room so we can talk further.
Yeah, so I actually remember when Darren and I met Kumar in Nigeria that he was speaking about this and that he was very passionate about this and wanting to do some more focus about it, because it is pretty amazing that still in this century that we're in, that there's still this stigma around it and we don't talk about it much, and it's biology, right? And it's what found it. It's without it we won't have life. Human life wouldn't exist, right?
That's true. Even today, women are more aware about the stigmas and taboos related it, in spite of the biological facts about menstruation. Mm-hmm. So the idea behind conducting this study was to create a knowledge base. Small activities around menstruation has been going around, but we need to actually access the kind of knowledge people have. Mm-hmm. So we conducted this study and we found that, as you can see here, there are the 4 factors that came basically out of that. Lack of awareness is the highest one. Then it's about lack of facilities, then access to sanitary napkins, and the societal beliefs and all. So we thought of changing it through providing knowledge to people, creating more and more awareness around it, not just in the urban parts, but specifically in the rural parts. What's happened in school? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we are taught about it, sometimes teachers skip it. So what about those who don't reach to school? Right. So what Sulabh did there, Sulabh started reaching out to them who were not reaching to school. Mm-hmm. So we started our community activities, advocacy programs, and lots of different things related to about how to manage their menstruation. The first thing is, they have been managing it, but are they managing it correctly? Mm-hmm. So we started the advocacy around it, and currently we are working in various states of India under the aegis of Sulabh, and we are just trying to make people more and more aware about how to manage their menstruation properly, how not to see it as a stigma. Mm-hmm. We need to tell them how is it a biological process like any other thing that's going inside your body. So this is what Sulabh is at right now, and we are just hoping for a period-friendly world where we break the silence around menstruation. Okay.
Excellent. So what age are you starting this education at in the schools?
So, when you talk about Sulabh, we have different sections. We are trying to cover as much age as possible. Like for school and colleges, we do have Sulabh Sanitation Club, which works specifically with the school girls and college students, girls and boys both. Then we have the advocacy programs that goes to the rural India, that is beyond classroom, to the normal community people Those who are not in school, enrolled in colleges, women who have menstruated for so many years but are not aware about the biological aspects of it. So Sulabh is not just working in school and colleges, but outside schools and colleges. When we say about age group, I can say proudly that we are working with girls from age of 8 years to the girls of age to 49 years. So this is what our range is. It's not about just adolescents, it's about everyone. Like our study itself says, combating silence from menarche to menopause. So this is what Sulabh is working with, lots and lots of, like a wide range of women and girls. We first need to understand where does it comes from? How is it a biological processes? Change in your body, you need to understand that puberty hits both boys and girls. Only difference that girls experience is the onset of menstruation. So what happens in most of the cases, mother is the first responder who herself is not aware about what is menstruation, how to manage it properly or something. So she passes on the burden of silence to her child also. So in this room, we want, okay, come, let's talk about menstruation, how it occurs. This is puberty. Your body experiences certain changes. Then you need to understand and accept your reproductive organ, the various parts of your reproductive organ. And when you understand your reproductive organs, then we talk about the menstrual cycle of 28 days. Okay. We need to make them understand the biological clock, the biological cycle, how it occurs, what is ovulation, how the egg transfers from your uterus, and how it gets fertilization, and what the blood lining comes from. So this is all that we want to talk to about everyone, just to make them understand the biological aspect of menstruation. Yeah, so this is what we are trying to make people understand, that, okay, you need not to worry if it doesn't come on 28 days. It's a 7-week, it can be ahead 7 days or behind 7 days. So when people are not aware about it, they get scared. Is something wrong with me? I'm not menstruating. I have crossed 28 days. So we try to give them information that any days from 21 days to 35 days is quite normal for having your periods or menstruations. We need to understand this. So these are the various factual information that we try to pass on to the women and girls. We are also trying to engage boys in it. Because if we are trying to bring the societal change, we can't exclude any section of the society. Right. So this is what Sulabh is now moving ahead to, including boys, men and boys in the menstrual processes.
Okay, great. So this talks about, can you just take us through these steps here?
So as you can see, the menstrual cycle has been divided into 4 phases. The first phase is when the uterus lining from your from your uterus comes out through your vagina. Just because the uterus lining blood shedding happens through vagina, it's called the dirty blood in most of the cultures. So we need to understand what does this function of this uterus lining is. So what happens after you menstruate? Every day a thin lining of blood starts to develop inside your uterus. The whole purpose of this lining is to provide nutrition to the fetus in case fertilization occurs. Then the egg travels through your fallopian tubes to the uterus waiting for fertilization. If it gets sperms, it gets fertilizer, and then this uterus lining works as a nutrition providing system. But if it doesn't fertilize, what? It's heavy now. It sets itself and comes down through your vagina. So this is the whole purpose. So what I ask ladies most of the time, if a uterus lining which is supposed to provide nutrition to your fetus, why do you call it dirty blood? Exactly. So this is something that gets them thinking about, okay, yes.
Well, it's very common in their culture, I think. That's what they said when they've gone to the different 7 states, that's the problem. The stigma is about like, ooh, it's kind of taboo and it's dirty. And there's a lot of really kind of bizarre beliefs that they have. Like in Italy, my mother-in-law said that her mother would tell her not to be near the plants in her house because when she was menstruating, the myth was that she was going to cause the plants to die.
Yeah, that's true.
And so,
just for that sake, we have this myths versus
reality. Yeah. So if you don't mind, we'll just go do the myth and the reality.
So please. So first thing, as I said, menstruating girls are supposed to be unclean just because they are bleeding. So this is just a myth. They are not unclean because it's a normal biological process. Then they say PMS, premenstrual syndrome, is all in the mind. It's unreal. But no, it's a hormonal changes in your body that is causing it. So you need to understand it's not unreal. Don't take it lightly. Just you need to understand it and treat it the way it should be.
Right. And the symptoms here are?
Real and occur due to hormonal changes in a woman woman's body during her monthly cycle. Fatigue, cramps, irritation, depression, and headaches are common symptoms. So what we want people to understand that it's not something that it's not a girl's thing, PMSing, CSP. No, it's a normal, actual thing happening to her body. Then menstruating girls should not eat certain foods like yogurt, pickles, vegetables, or drink cold water. So every religion or every culture will have different things to say. Some will say don't eat cold food, some will say don't eat hot food. But it's not like that. Menstruating girls need to eat iron food rich such as vegetables, fruits, yogurt to replace iron loss during bleeding. So this is something we need to understand. Then menstruating girls should not enter kitchen. If they will touch the food, it will get spoiled. No, girls can cook while they are on their menses. However, practicing good hygiene while handling food is important. It's about how you maintain your hygiene.
However, this might be nice because then the women and the girls can have a break from cooking. So maybe we want to we want to keep that myth going.
What the problem in Indian context I'm talking about, all these things started as a practice to give rest to women. But because earlier there were no proper hygiene management system in place, they were using rags, they were using sands, they were using acids. So during those days, they needed rest at that point of time.
Right.
But what we did over the period of time, we stigmatized it.
Right.
Like it's not a choice whether I want to have rest or not. It should be my choice. But now it has been forced on me. But what happened? One thing I'm telling you, over the changing times, we were in joint family earlier. The joint family concept was in India. So what's happened when one woman was menstruating, other women could cook. So it was manageable. But now in the nuclear family, it's not possible for a wife to take rest for 5 days. So now that thing had changed. Now women do cook because men don't want to cook. So this is how about convenience. With convenience, you have changed certain things. So we need to break these myths also. That she can exercise. If my body allows to me, I can exercise. If it doesn't, I should take rest. So it should not be stigmatized. Like you can't go to religious places, you can't feed to animals. They don't allow menstruation.
That was also a myth.
Yeah, that's also a myth. You are not allowed to feed an animal while you are menstruating. So these are some of the myths. These are very few, I am telling you, just because to give an idea about it. These are the myths. There are lots and lots more myths around
This
it.
one, wow. The start of menstruation means the girl is ready for marriage. No.
Yeah, that's true. In many cultures in South India, it is celebrated. Like menstruation is celebrated just because they think, okay, now she can get married, she can bear a child, so she is ready for marriage. So this is how it is looked upon at. Like just women is a childbearing factory kind of thing, they see it. So this is just a myth.
Right here. It's just a normal process of growing up. It has nothing to do with getting ready to be married. Okay, and then here?
Menstruating girls should not bathe or wash hair. It causes infertility.
Oh, wow.
So this is one thing that it's not like that. Taking a bath when having a period is necessary. It prevents a girl from infection, keeps her clean.
Right.
It has nothing to do with fertility and infertility. But how will you stop women? So you always attach something wrong with it. Okay, if you will do this, you will be infertile. And once a woman is infertile, she is of no use for the society. This is how people look at it. So this can be seen from a feminist perspective also, that how menstruation is like a way to suppress women. If you can't procreate, then you are of no use in the society. So you have to maintain that. Then there is menstruating girls should sleep separately. Just because you should not, generally doctors say you should not have sex while menstruating, but it's not a no-go rule. People do have sex while they are menstruating if they can manage proper hygiene and all. But what they decided, okay, let's sleep separately. You are untouchable during those 5 days, so you should sleep outside. We have various cultures in India itself and Nepal also that allow women to sleep outside their houses, in the outhouses, far away from their homes. They are vulnerable to animals, rape cases, various kinds of issues. These are something just to make them sleep separately. So this is
it's like just mind blowing that still is something that is thought to be normal. So that's why this is so important, this education.
Yeah, and the last one you can see the physical activities like running, playing sports can disrupt the cycle. This is what they say. But exercises and playing sports can actually help relieve the pain. So these are very few of the things that we want to talk about. So now here you can see the board of facts around menstruation. The first menstruation is called menarche. What happens, why we came up with this board was what happened while we were working in a school group. the age group was different. Like some girls were of age group 8 years, some of 10 years, 12 years. So while interacting with them, I got to know a girl who was 9 years of age was not menstruating, and her other class fellows were menstruating. So she thought something is wrong with me because I am not menstruating. And she was so low on her confidence, I'm telling you. So we need to tell that, okay, it's okay to menstruate from anywhere between 8 to 16 years of ages. So these are some of the facts we discuss with our visitors. At least you need to propagate it, the correct information about it. Like the menstruation can start as early as 8 years of age or as late as 16 years of age. The age is decreasing with changing lifestyles and all. Earlier it was 10 to 12 years of menarche, and now it's 8 years. Menstruation typically lasts for 2 to 7 days. Why we need to tell them? So that they understand, okay, it's fine if you're menstruating for 3 days, it's fine if you're menstruating for 7 days. It's nothing, some hard and fast rule, okay, you have to menstruate for 5 days.
Right.
So we need to make them people aware about it. Then it occurs, on an average, it occurs on a 28 days, as I said earlier also. 7 days window is fine. Earlier or after, it's fine. Then another most important thing is, if we calculate all the menstruating days of a woman's life, it counts up to 7 years of a woman's life. Wow. So for your 7 years of your life, you keep yourself hidden. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to be discussed. So this is one of the very important fact we want to talk about. It's 7 years of your life. You need to talk about it. Right. So start talking about it. None of the houses in India, I'm telling you for sure, has any budget called menstruation budget. You have sanitary napkins, expensive sanitary napkins, but no one talks about the budgeting in the household. So why don't you talk about 7 years of your life? So this is one important. Then the word menstruation comes from menses, the Latin word for month. Since it's a monthly occurrence, so we call it menstruation. A menstrual cycle is the time between first day of your one period to the first day of second period. This is a menstrual cycle we talk about. A regular menstrual cycle is an indicator of good health. Why menstruation is important? It's not just for procreating, but it also tells a lot about your body, that your hormonal changes are completely normal. They are in sync. So this is a sign of good health. Menstruation usually stops between the ages of 45 and 55 years, a phase known as menopause. When we talk about menopause itself is divided into various phases. But we need to tell women, okay, 45 to 55, you can stop menstruating. And then the blood you lose during menstruation will be quickly replaced by the blood-forming cells in your bone marrow. What happens most of the time? Weakness is attached to menstruation. Okay, if I'm menstruating, I'm feeling... No, it's not the case. The lining has already been developed in your body. Mm-hmm. It comes out through your body. So if you feel weakness, most of the times it's psychological thing. Okay. Blood loss, in a normal menstruation, you lose your blood just to 80 ml. Just 80 ml, 2-3 tablespoons of blood, that's it. But what we have created, okay, she is bleeding, she is feeling weak and everything. So we need to tell them, okay, whatever blood is lost, it gets regenerated in your body like anything. Like if you cut your hand, it bleeds, your blood gets regenerated. So this is what we try to make them understand. And now you can see as that from our studies, the factors that we identified, what are the major factors that are acting as a hindrance to the proper menstrual hygiene management. And so the first one is lack of awareness and knowledge. Mm-hmm. People don't know about it. Lack of facilities and water and sanitation. Even in today's time, various schools in India don't have separate toilet facility for girls. And as a result, what happens? Girls don't prefer to go to school because they don't feel comfortable changing their sanitary napkin, with sharing a washroom with boys, and this leads to absenteeism. Right. 80% of absenteeism is because of menstruation, and that too because of lack of facilities.
Yeah, and this is a real problem because then they fall behind, and the girls, can then... sometimes they drop out of school too if they don't have the proper sanitation. And recently in the U.S., in different states, they've been trying to pass laws to make it a law that all the public bathrooms have, menstruation tampons or pads. So that's a good thing that we're making some progress, but we still have a ways to go. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
And if you want to just finish this here.
Yeah, I just want to tell you that whenever we talk about menstruation, we talk about accessibility, affordability, and availability of the sanitary napkins or menstrual hygiene management product. So what Sulabh is doing, Sulabh is trying to cater to all these needs. Accessibility. How can we improve accessibility of sanitary napkins to rural women? So we provide sanitary napkin making facilities for them. We train them so that they can manufacture their own sanitary napkins, distribute among themselves, might also market it among themselves to get some financial, economic empowerment. So these kind of things that Sulabh is doing. Then increase awareness by advocacy programs, as I said, and make it affordable. So this is what Sulabh is looking at a broader picture. And yes.
Yeah, this is fantastic because then it's allowing the women to have a job and to educate and then, provide this. So that's so amazing. That's incredible. Yeah. That's okay. So we just finished up here. How men and boys can support. Okay, this is good. Yeah, tell us about how you've learned about this or what you've seen in in your experience of gathering the data.
Okay, as I said, that menstruation is like we are trying to break the silence around menstruation and bring the societal change at large. It can't be possible by separating one of the genders who are also involved in this process directly or indirectly. Like you can see here, we do get period cramps, menstruation, mood swings, everything at that time due to hormonal changes. Very small things men and boys can do to make it comfortable, like just assisting with hot water bag. It's the most common thing, but you can do. For that, you need to understand, okay, menstruation is normal, she is going through some hormonal changes, how can I help? Bringing sanitary napkins from market. I have heard stories from women who have stopped menstruating. They have reached menopause, but throughout their life, they never discussed about menstruation with their husbands. So this is how we need to understand that men and boys need to be educated about it also.
And there's a lot of men who aren't comfortable with purchasing it for their wife or their daughter. They feel uncomfortable and they won't purchase the napkins or the tampons.
A very common practice in India is when you go to a medical shop to buy a sanitary napkin, they will wrap it in a newspaper, then give it to you in a black plastic. You can't imagine. Wow. So this is one thing, something that is being practiced everywhere in India. They will wrap it in a newspaper, then give it in a black polythene and then hide it and they pass it on to you. So this is where men and boy can say, okay, why are you hiding it? Do you hide a condom when you give it to someone? So this is where we need to initiate the conversation with the shopkeepers involving men and boys. They should talk about it.
Yeah, and just basic things like be sensitive, bring water, hot water, food, you can cook, wash.
Just help with household chores and everything. So this is how men and boys need to be educated also about menstruation.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, it's not a rocket science. That's true. That's true.
And so is Sulabh specifically working on the sanitation? That's the main thing that they're doing.
The idea of this room is to create awareness.
Okay.
Although we are working mainly on sanitary napkins production and distribution and training women on that, but we want everyone to be aware of what items they can use for menstruating their menstruation, managing their menstruation. So they need to understand, okay, you can use these 4 items which are healthy, and we should not use pulp, newspapers, wooden ashes and everything, that kind of thing, so should not use. So what we try to do here, that you understand that you can use either of them. Although Sulabh is into sanitary napkins training and all that, but no, we don't want people to restrict to them. We want people to make aware about all the choices they have, and then as per their convenience, they can choose whatever they want to use in a right way. That's it. What they used to fill the sand or ash in a socks, and then tie it around their waist and their vagina. Wow. So, and when the blood drips out from the vagina, it gets soaked by the sand or ashes. And these are some stories I have heard from the field directly from the women who have done it already.
Wow. And it says leaves as well. Yeah. And newspapers.
Newspapers are very commonly used. And for leaves, even today in northeastern part of India, the rural part of northeastern India, women use leaves just to wipe off their blood. They don't manage it properly. They just, when they bleed, they wipe it off with a leaf and throw it away. That's it. Wow. So this is a stark, harsh reality, you can say, which we are trying to change the narrative.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It's so inspiring and uplifting to know that you guys are making that effort, and education is the key, right?
That's true. That's the one thing that our study, this room, our advocacy campaigns in all about creating more and more awareness about menstruation and break the silence. This is what we are looking up to.
Well, we're hoping that we can help, and we'll do this through our podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Zulu Podcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, zulu.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more Zulu fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@zulu.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the Zulu Podcast is sponsored by Zulu Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at zulu.com.